Okay, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
More dragons, really.
Dragons and dungeons.
Double dragon.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Starla Hutchton as Hannah.
Hello.
Jenny Meltzer as Divari.
Hello.
Mark Kilfoyle as Brevelin.
Hello, good people.
And Paul Fisher as Petron.
Good evening.
So tonight we are continuing our little mini arc as the special task force assigned by friend of the Emperor Nelson Devereaux has been dispatched first to recruit the River Dragon spirit Sitzlebeck, and then with him go and take on the Nightmare Dragon, which has made its lair in the city of Villanacta. And you discovered on your way to recruit Sitzlebeck that he had already fallen victim to some of this strange nightmare corruption, and you had to free him from that influence. But now the time has come to move and travel to Villanacta itself. Traveling by airship, the journey from Sitzlebeck's domain outside of Gorn to the sovereign city-state of Villanacta is no more than 5 or 6 hours' ride. But the effects of the Nightmare Dragon's presence are visible long before that. At first, it's just a smudge on the horizon. Smoke, perhaps? But it doesn't move with the wind. The closer you get, the more it appears as though the city and its outskirts rest under a blanket of darkness, even as you sail under the early afternoon sun. Even through the dark, the lights of civilization that would ordinarily give shape to the city skyline are hazy, indistinct, and occasionally seem to swirl around each other like a school of eyeless fish in some subterranean pool.
Ugh.
Once you can tear your gaze away from that strange, eye-watering view, you see the refugees below you. Villanacta has long been surrounded by the permanently fluctuating temporary encampments known as Paper Town. But now, even those settlements have been abandoned, sending thousands of terrified city dwellers into the forests and farmlands of the Tashmian Empire. Some of the Emperor's forces have been deployed to keep them from overwhelming the nearest Tashmian cities, but it is likely a futile effort. They are already spread too thin, dealing with the various tears in reality that have scattered across the landscape like shrapnel. A modicum of control has been maintained so far, but it has only been a couple of days, and the population of a large city cannot be easily absorbed by its neighbors in that time, even without the ordinary considerations of bureaucracy. Then again, early estimates suggest that the refugees only comprise a little more than half of Villanacta's total population. Those who didn't make it out have not been heard from since. Magical attempts to scry on or communicate with anyone still inside the city walls have all failed. What can be seen from outside and above is that the city is changing. What was once the impressive Villanacta Opera House seems to have become the epicenter of a sort of rot, spreading outward through the districts like mold, distorting the streets and buildings around it into strange edifices of bone and tissue. Where there had been water, there is now blood. Where there had been statues, there are teeth. And where there had once been thousands and thousands of people going about their business and living their lives, there is now only quiet and dark, save a low moan vibrating through the streets like an earthquake, and an ominous red glow from the front of the opera house. You have until sunset to gather intel or make preparations before Sitzlebeck will arrive to join you. Then you will want to move quickly, because as bad as things look now, the coming night will surely be worse. What would you like to do?
Quick question. Did
Yeah.
we get a long rest before we got here?
Yes, after the fight,
Okay.
yes. We'll say that you got the long rest kind of leading up to the skyship's departure and then on the trip here.
Okay.
Does anyone know a rhyme for foreboding or harrowing? I'm trying to document all this.
I'm not much for rhymes.
What? What was the second one again?
Harrowing.
Arrowing.
Narrowing.
Narrowing.
Bad, not bad.
Bone marrowing.
Ooh.
Harrowing.
Difficult to fit in the rhyme scheme, but yeah, it could work. I've only got 2 stanzas so far. I'm keen to make sure this record gets, sung in all the right bars.
So you will just hand me the music sheet when you're done?
No, I don't have music. I can't play anything. I could hum you a few bars. Probably sing it. Modestly, of course.
Okay.
Like this one, for example.
So from the airship, are we able to get an aerial view of the city? Like,
Yeah, the captain thinks that it's probably not a good idea to fly directly over the city itself at this point, because maybe you'll want to do that when the time comes, but not before. Just because it is a dragon, you don't know what else it might be planning to do. But you, from the air, can get an aerial view of the surroundings, and you can kind of see over the walls.
I was just wondering if there was like a place where things look more concentrated. Like, do we know like the dragon is in the palace or something like that? Like,
As described, there does seem to be a clear center to whatever's happening to the city, and you don't know for a fact that that means the dragon will be there, but it does seem like a likely place to start at least.
well, we should probably decide how we're going to get to the dragon, because I think going in as close to it as possible will waste fewer resources on the journey getting to it. So we should think about our route. Like, I mean, if we drop in from above, like, do we have spells to cover that? Like, do we have equipment to cover that?
No. Falling is the worst option.
I agree.
Well, I'm not much for sneaking around. It doesn't really work for me. I suppose there's maybe sewers or something that could be crawled through. Well, walk through. I don't really feel like crawling.
I think looking out at the city, you could give it a try, but given the changes to it, it seems unlikely that the sewers would be a pleasant delve, perhaps even in context with how they would normally be.
Yeah, that doesn't look like, well, what they're supposed to look like.
I just got these boots and I'm not walking in the sewer.
The captain of the airship says, well, we're heading on a dangerous mission here. I knew what I signed up for. I could try to bring you in as low as possible, but it does seem like a possible risk if the ship itself were to be attacked. But I could do my best to get you close to the rooftops if that's what you need.
That seems reasonable. I mean, I was thinking they could drop us off, like, come in low and drop us off like half a mile or a mile away, and we could just walk in. But it doesn't take that long to cover that distance.
Well, I'll certainly not argue for getting any closer to that thing than I have to, but I'll do what I must for the mission.
when Sitzlebek arrives, maybe that would be an alternative, since our ally is going that way anyhow, maybe?
I don't
Hitch a ride?
understand. I
Hitch a
mean,
ride with Sitzlebek?
well, we're supposed to gather intelligence on what's going on here
We need to know as much as we can before they arrive.
before, yes.
Right. But when we go to make the initial, like, attack, like, hit it all at once,
Well, I was kind of thinking that Sitzlebek would make a very good distraction while we're doing hard work.
Yeah.
Keep
We
the
get in-
busyness at hand while we're doing important, smaller work.
Yeah.
Maybe striking at the heart of everything, right in the center. Where it's worst, probably. Like terrible. Gnashing teeth and things. Ooh, gnashing teeth. I wonder if I could fit that in.
That rhymes with wreath, by the way.
Lots of things rhyme with gnashing.
Jeez.
Well,
Bashing.
grief rhymes with teeth.
Ooh, grief. Good one. Very good one. By the way, Captain, I've left a copy of what I've written so far in my cot. Should we not return in time for you to, leave and flee and so forth? There may be nothing left but a crater by the time we're done. I can't really tell.
Oh.
I feel like at first you were asking me to make sure it's saved for posterity if you die, but then it kind of made it sound like the world was going to end instead.
No, just a local crater.
Ah.
Hopefully. I mean, as these things go, you never really know, do you?
so
It's
we're at the outskirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we people have been evacuated?
Well, largely.
Right.
There's lots of like disorganized, chaotic camps of people who have fled the city, but a lot of them really didn't have anything. So it's not like organized tent camps or anything like that. It's kind of just,
Well, I'm thinking start there. Talk to people.
I also have an idea. I have done performances here in the past, and there are definitely back ways into a lot of the taverns that I might be able to locate.
Well, let's get an idea of what we are going into first, and then we will find a good way to get in and start making some progress.
All right.
Are you looking for anything in particular in terms of where you would want to start or who to ask? Because without necessarily describing every detail in advance and then just having you pick, imagine that you've got a substantial portion of the city that was forced to flee on short notice, and that includes people of all stripes, including people who are probably, nobles and such. Might have a little more organization, or would you want to talk to more ordinary people? That, so tell me kind of what you would be looking for, assuming that there's a lot of diversity to choose from.
Looking for someone probably in some kind of an organizational or leadership type role that would be, trying to like do their best in the chaos to, get people places. So I don't know if there's any like local police or shoot, even a local like gang or something like
Yeah.
Guard or
think that
militia.
If there's someone in a watchtower,
might- I was going to say that I think it might be a little bit better if maybe we look for someone who gathers information for a living, like a bartender perhaps, or, people like that. If you go to like the officials or the
those
police,
are harder
they're
to
going to
spot
try to
by
put
sight
you.
though.
But I know what they look like. That's my job.
they are the ones that have the best stories, not necessarily the most
So
truthful
they
ones.
listen to everything they know.
True. I could run a few lines by them too.
I'm not arguing that. I just think being able to spot them without like having to ask around, I think it'd be a little bit easier. But we can do
I
it
would
whatever
like-
way.
I will just say that as a performer, perhaps I can scan the crowd for someone that I know.
They can be picked out. Both kinds can be picked out. The ones who look like they're doing the best are probably the ones who are listening to the stories. The ones who look like they've got less crap on them, probably more official.
I would like to make an investigation check. Was that
Okay.
possible?
Yes, it is. Please do so. I suppose I could have
I
my
don't
windows
know.
displayed to where I could see where your what the rolls are.
I
Well,
don't
that's a
know
f-
anyone.
yeah, that's a 5. Unfortunately, I think what you're discovering is that this all happened so suddenly and so recently that everything is still very chaotic, and it is difficult to. There hasn't really been time for the chaos of all of this to sort itself into a more organized form. And there's so many people, and everyone is in various degrees of disarray that you are not able to spot any specific individuals.
We could simply provide some hope. That will attract some of the right people. After all, wherever I go, I try to bring a little hope. Probably won't use these poems, though. This one's a little bit more dour. Trying to capture the situation, the mood of it. It's different. But it happens wherever I go that people tend to feel a bit better. Tend to be a little bit more emboldened and happy, at least briefly. Till I leave, of course, and then they're despondent. But that's not something I can control. So, why don't we try this? With dance and with prayer and pointy sticks, we can wander through an area to try to attract a little bit of attention, bringing some positivity, and then, with positivity in mind, hopefully those in charge would seek us out. They would see us as mighty forces for good. In a time of terrible darkness. Oh, that's good. Mighty forces for good. In a time of tidy... Yeah. Forces for good.
Hmm?
In a time of darkness. Oh, and despair. Ooh, I can work that one in.
All right. So the idea here would be you would kind of, make a show of landing somewhere, and then what? Kind of some sort of a performance to try to raise spirits, and then see who finds you.
Something like that.
All right. Are
Keeping in
you
mind
are
that-
you presenting yourselves as here to fight the dragon?
To bring hope, I think. I can't present myself as anything else, actually.
Sure, but what's like raise hope is great, but how? These people have been chased out of their home by a nightmare dragon. Probably
True.
they would need some details.
I don't think there's enough booze in the world for that right now.
Well, if I bring them close, they'll simply understand that all is not lost.
If only that
happened-
were true.
Just stand close to me and feel. I emanate the purity of not being despairing. In fact, he actually does. The aura of protection provides a 10-foot immunity to, I think, immunity to frightened. Let me see here.
Hmm?
No, that just provides the bonus to resist. He himself is immune to frightened.
Okay.
Let's try and remember if that gets expanded. I might be able to expand that. I'll have to look through my auras. But I'm sure with a positive dance, a few words from your god, and pointy sticks, we can make the point. To try to make a bit of happiness, cause a bit of a crowd scene, get people to be revived a little bit in their hopes. Seems a lot better than sneaking around, which I'm not very good at anyway.
Well, sure. So, is this a group effort, or is this something Brevillin is focused on primarily, with everyone else just watching?
I will say that Davari will just dance for anyone or anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just what she does.
Sure.
So,
I'm gonna go look for a cop.
Okay. Well, so how about this? I think that this is a high DC. For terrified people forced to flee their homes are not, generally speaking, an ordinary sort of song and dance is probably not going to do much without some more details. However, you all are pretty gifted, so I'll let you roll with advantage against a high DC. As long as all you're trying to do is basically say, keep your chin up, it's not so bad, that sort of thing. Like if you were providing like details about what you're here to do, that might be a different thing.
I think I would like to do interpretive dance
Okay.
to tell the story of how the great Sitzlebek was overcome and then freed again. And that is why there is hope. Because even though great giants like Sitzlebek were overcome, they were lifted out and brought back into the light again.
All right.
Interpretive dance.
Okay. And so we've got Devari's interpretive dance backing up Brevelin's songs and recitations.
A little bit of speechifying.
Okay. So
As
how
well.
about is this sounds to me like a performance check with advantage, unless you would prefer it be persuasion.
I
I
do
don't-
get advantage either way with like if I'm dancing. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well,
is
so
Yes,
who
my
who wants to
dazzling
make the
footwork.
roll? You guys are helping each other.
I don't know what your your stats are.
Plus 13.
Yeah, I have a +7 for him, which is pretty good.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'll be backing her up. I'll
that
be
works
watching. I'll
too.
be watching
Yeah.
the dance and changing the rhyme scheme to match the dance.
Okay.
We're trying to.
All right.
So that's for you. To roll.
33. A natural
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, a natural 20 is something. I think that as you first set up, you are seeing people give you a sort of desperate interest to just see what's happening, like they're scared, they're not sure what's going on, and so any new thing that's happening, they're looking to see what it is. But then when it starts and it's like it's dancing and singing, there's an initial kind of like, oh, that's all this is. And there's a little bit of a lull, but as the performance goes on, there is a tangible shift in the air, and it becomes clear to everyone in this immediate vicinity how much of this haze of fear and despair had been seeping out from the city and infecting the very atmosphere of these camps, until your dance and the music begins to clear it away, at least in this small area. And despite their fear and uncertainty, the passion and skill on display in this performance nonetheless breaks through, and people find themselves surprised to feel hope rekindling in their troubled hearts. And I think you see people crying, smiling, holding one another, and you are attracting quite a crowd. Give me little pieces of what this performance is like.
Well, if you've ever seen interpretive dance, you know it's ridiculous. No offense to interpretive dancers, but it's, these exaggerated motions that very bizarrely display what happened to Sitzlebeck without words. Like it's just uncanny how easy it is to tell that that's exactly what's going on, and that, you know, I drop down to the ground and rise up like Sitzlebeck coming out of the, you know, the strange possession that overcame him. And yep, there's hope. There's so much of it. It's ridiculous.
Nice. What is Brevlin supplying to this performance?
Trying to keep up to it mostly, but trying to, and probably will pull out his book, which he's been writing in for a while, and he will try out one of the stanzas. I'm also going to try one out. Nightmares crash across the land. From anywhere is help at hand. With strength of mountain, sky, and arrow, we traveled here to administer care. Oh, dangerous and terrible invading dragon.
Very nice, very nice. So I think you are attracting a crowd, and it seems like the people who are here and can see and hear this are feeling better, and it is certainly attracting a lot of attention. And I suspect that people will be perhaps approaching to speak with you once the performance is done. But in the meantime, Hannah has gone off to find a cop.
Yep.
Yeah? So you're looking for, like, city guard, beat cop?
Anybody that might be bearing the, like, crest of, like, the Villanocta royal family, or...
Well, so are you looking for
I
someone?
don't know.
Yeah, so are you looking for someone who, like, maybe, like worked at the palace at a high level, or just, you know, like someone who is, you know, an official representative of the city guard?
It doesn't even have to be official, because, like, at this point, everyone is so scattered, like, anyone will do.
Sure.
That might, you know, be in some position to provide information.
All right, well, make an investigation check to see if you can find someone good. 16, yeah. I think that you spot there is a bit of a makeshift infirmary tent that's been set up, and you see someone wearing the armor with the insignia of a palace guard, who seems to be helping an injured person to reach this infirmary tent. And after you see them go inside with this injured person, they come out and they're taking a breath, and then they look like they're just collecting themselves before they go look for someone else to help. I think this is a young, earnest-looking half-elf man.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop him before he runs off. Pardon me. We have been sent by the Emperor from Bashan to help see about getting rid of this dragon, but we need some information.
The Tashmian Emperor sent you?
Friend of the Emperor.
Good enough for me. We can take whatever help we can get. What do you need from me?
Well, there's just so much chaos down here. I was hoping you could point me or any of my compatriots in the direction of someone who might, I don't know, being in charge seems a bit of a stretch, but organizing things, someone who would know things.
Yeah, I think the palace personnel that made it out, I think they were heading for the North Gate, and as you probably know, we're at the south, so I don't really know what's happening over there. It's been pretty chaotic, but I think we've got some of the guild leaders have been trying to put together some plans for what comes next in the next couple of days. I could take you over there.
That actually sounds pretty good. I
Okay,
appreciate that. Thank you.
sure thing. It is like you're gonna try to fight the dragon?
We're gonna try. We brought help. They'll be here later.
Okay, good. I caught a glimpse of this thing. Not close, but close enough.
Is it as bad as we've heard?
I'm not sure I've kind of fully processed it yet, but it seems real bad. I mean, I didn't. I don't know what the city center looks like now, but it seemed like things were changing. Like it was changing the buildings. Wherever it went, these weird like green crystal pillars would like rise up around it, and like it. Everyone who was near those things like seemed to just like melt, and they would like follow him, like they would rise up out of the ground where he landed, and then they would sort of like crumble, but then reappear wherever he moved on. I think he went to the opera house. But yeah, I always thought, like, as the palace guard, we were there to protect Villa Nocta against whatever might threaten it, but it's we always prided ourselves on not having the big really powerful spirits, because we didn't want to have some big powerful spirit telling us what to do. We kept this spirits small, and that's the way we liked it. But I have to say, we didn't really have much we could do against that thing.
Well, we're gonna try to help you guys out. Thank you for sharing all of that with me.
Sure.
If you want to show me the way to where these guild leaders are.
Yeah. So he does. He's guiding you in that direction. In the meantime, Davari and Brevelin, I think as you are finishing up, initially you are just kind of being swarmed by people who are just kind of wanting to just kind of stay in your presence, the people who have kind of made them feel like maybe there's hope. And I think there's just kind of this, you get a sense that right now this crowd is not necessarily going to automatically disperse, because you've kind of made them feel better. But like, do you give them any kind of a direction? Are you giving them guidance on what they should be doing? Or have you just kind of, you've attracted this crowd, but now the crowd is here. What are you doing with them?
I think, for one thing, Brevelin is smiling broadly as the crowd comes to sort of adore him. And I found it, they do actually gain immunity to frightened when they come within the aura as well. But it's kind of welcoming in the crowd. It's almost enjoying the crush of it, and trying to match that. Probably lost in that feeling too, of providing real sustenance for them. Has anybody come forward with any information, or is anybody who wants
right
to say
now,
anything?
I think what I'm asking is that right now you are being surrounded by a crowd of people that it's very chaotic. Like, right now, there's really not room for someone to approach you. You've got everyone who you attracted that's around you right now, which is why I'm asking, are you giving the crowd advice? Are you trying to have them go do something, or are you just you've attracted them, now what? Because what I'm saying is, right now, imagine you have just given a rock concert, and you've got the crowd really riled up, and now what? Like, there's not really room right now for someone to just come up and say, hey, I've got some advice for you, because like, you're surrounded by this crowd that you've made feel better, and they feel great. But now what?
I would actually lean over and tell you, because you're the talker, to instruct them to move their camp as far away from the action as possible, because we don't know what's going to happen, and the farther they are from like the actual city and the gates, probably better off they'll be, and encourage them to like stick together.
I hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, children, adults, all ages here. You've come here and found a moment of hope. Hold on to that hope. Hold it in your heart like a small fire that burns constantly. And I want you to take that, and I want you to talk to others and share that hope. Your fire will not go out. Theirs will be lit. And you need to push back the darkness, not only in your own heart, but start from there. Move swiftly and carefully. Move with strength and confidence. Take your families, your friends, your neighbors, your customers, strangers even, and move them back outside of the line of scrimmage. For we will go in. Know this, we will go in. We and allies will take this town and restore it as much as we can. But it will be dangerous. You will see and hear things you will not understand. You've already seen more than most. We'll be seeing those soon. But I assure you, we will make your city great again. But first, hold tight to one another. Take what you need. Move your camps to a safer distance. Sing songs and recite tales, and remember the dances and the poems and all that you've seen here today. Spread that to all of your people. Remember your own songs. Tell them to each other. Hold on to yourselves. Help is coming. We just need a bit of space.
Great. So I think while all this has been happening, Petrin, Devari and Brevelin just gave a big, huge inspirational speech to the crowd. Hana went and found a palace guard who's going to lead her to speak with some of the guild masters. What would Petrin have been doing?
Petrin is going to look for people who are sharp-eyed like he is. People who are looking for sight lines to see if they can see this nightmare dragon from roofs or trees or cliffs or whatever, buildings, whatever is up there. And he's going to go find his people and talk to them about what they've seen. If they've seen anything, make sure, like, are there particularly good sight lines for, firing arrows from long distances, which is his preferred way of doing things.
I think that right where you are right now is too far away for that kind of an assessment. You can't see any of the city stuff from where you are.
Okay.
But you guys are, so Villa Nocta, just for everyone for whom it has been a long time, is a walled city, and it has a lot of sort of a lot of business outside the walls, but the interior of the walls, you guys are well outside those walls. And so you could, if you flew the airship directly over the city, you could see some of that stuff. So if you wanted to try to get some reconnaissance that way, you could. But from where you are in the camps right now, you really can't see anything in the city.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to try to talk to someone who would just know the lay of the land in there, you could maybe do that, but you wouldn't be able to see anything from here.
Okay, then I want to try and find people who would have the lay of the land and would know, you know, what has been going on, what kind of things we might encounter.
Okay, well, so tell me how, so we can abstract this with a roll, but tell me how, like, what are you looking for? You've got a lot of people in these very disorganized refugee camps. Like, how are you choosing who to try to approach and talk to?
I'm going to look for people that are a little bit organized, or that have an awareness of their surroundings.
I'm going to offer this as a way to simplify this a little bit. Let's say that you are with Hannah as she has talked to a guard and is going to go talk to the guild masters.
Okay.
If that's all right with you.
That's fine.
I think there's just a little bit there's some overlap anyway with the sorts of things that you might be asking about. And so I think it might just be simpler to have the two of you going to go do that together.
Okay.
So I think perhaps Hannah and this guard come and grab Petrin, and you're going together to where there are a couple of little pavilion tents that have been set up, and it's clear that some of the people in this spot seem to have more means than many, which is what it is. Right? They have the resources to employ people to make sure that they can come with their luggage as they flee the city, that sort of thing. But also they are the people with resources to perhaps organize things and have a bit more information at their disposal, as opposed to someone who is just, doesn't know anything about what's going on. So you do see in one of these tents 5 or 6 different well-dressed people standing around. I think it's maybe just like a wooden crate that's had a city map spread over it, and they're kind of standing around it and discussing what is going to come next in the next couple of days.
Is the guard, does he have any, I don't know, would he like clear his throat, or like would they notice him at all? Like, because they seem like they're probably more important.
I think he was kind of side-eyeing you, because from what you said, he kind of assumed that you were the one that was just going to stride on in there. But if you're looking to him for an introduction, he can do it. Like I think he's looking to you like, were you going to talk first, or I could go? Do you?
It's fine. We'll
Okay.
take care of it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much for your help.
Sure. Yeah. I think he intuited you as higher status than him, and therefore wasn't expecting you to defer to him.
All right. So, I guess Petrin and I will go on in.
Yep.
So these guildmasters look up to you in surprise, but also there's a lot going on, so they are, looking at you expectantly.
Thank you for your attention. Just going to get right to the point. My colleagues and I have been sent here on behalf of a friend of the Emperor, from Pashan, and we're here to help with the dragon. There will be reinforcements coming later, and we need some information. And I'm told that you are the folks around here that might have it.
One of them, sort of snorts and says, certainly reinforcements to come take the city once it's rubble. And then another one of them says, don't listen to him. We are in desperate need, as you can see. What resources are you bringing to bear? We will let you know what we can.
Well, the particular reinforcement that will be arriving, did you say sundown?
Yeah.
Sunset?
Yeah.
Around sunset, we've recruited, you probably know him, Sitzelbeck is going to come and assist us in our fight with the dragon this evening.
The same one who was grumbling before just says, oh, a spirit, wonderful. And one of the other, guildmasters just looks at him and just says, look, I know that we've been turned out of our home by a giant, monstrous dragon, but you do have to look on the bright side of some things. But in any case, the rest of them are saying, so what can we do? I mean, what do you need from us?
Well, we've only just gotten here and everything is very chaotic. So we're going to need asking for a safe route seems like an impossible task, but we have no information going in. Something about the green crystal pillars and people melting, and I mean that all sounds pretty terrible. But we didn't know if you folks would have any more clarity on how we might get where we need to go. The approximate area the dragon is in.
We've
quickest route to get to him.
We've been given reports that he's made his lair, as far as we can tell, in the opera house. There's several reports of him rampaging through the city, but once he reached the opera house, he went inside, and no one has seen him out in the open since then. But the city has begun to turn, as you can see. There was a great amount of death and destruction before that happened, but no one has dared go back in to check, because even as he hides within that building, the corruption that he's brought to the city seems to spread. As for a safe route, I could give you directions to the opera house, but the influence he is wielding over the surroundings are such that I can't imagine any standard route or road or pass or alley would be safe in any sense.
Oh, I don't imagine that I believe that is probably true. So maybe instead of safety, expedience?
So I'm going to just go ahead and say right now, they're not going to give you like, oh, you're going to take 4th Street over to 27th Avenue and then go up to D Street, right? Like,
Right.
There's not like,
I mean, they have a map there.
Yes.
Right.
They can show you the map and say, if you want to walk there by foot, you go this way. But they offer no guarantees that is remotely safe in any way. They don't have any information that there's any better or worse way to go.
But saying that, he's at the opera house, like, we're not from here.
Yes, okay. But what I'm saying is they can tell you where to go. I'm not going to tell you go to this street and then that street and like that.
Yeah,
that's a waste of time.
I don't expect you to.
They show you how to get to the opera house if you want to walk there. However, they tell you it's not safe to do that. If you have a way to not walk there, you should do that.
Are there any sort of like resources as far as any kind of fighting forces that you guys have or that are gathering anywhere?
Much of the organized defenses of the city were devastated by the dragon's initial attack, and everything since then has been scattered and or is needed in order to maintain any kind of order or security of the fleeing villagers. We have nothing that we can muster at the moment. Despite the great dragon, we still find ourselves occasionally besieged by the smaller creatures that pop up in every shadow, it would seem.
Can you give us some idea of what you're fighting with regard to the smaller creatures? Do they have any air units?
They describe all of the same kinds of nightmare creatures that you've been seeing from all of these other terrors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing new on that account.
Yes.
But
we by far recommend that if you have a way to get to the opera house without simply walking through the streets, that would almost certainly be better. The less exposure you have to the spreading corruption around it, the better.
I know that the city's been devastated, but were any merchants of any sort able to be out of the city with like any kind of supplies at all?
What kinds of supplies would you be asking about? I mean, we have salvaged what we could, given that it was an emergency evacuation. But what do you mean? What supplies do you ask about?
Anything that might help with like magical workings to put up any kind of defenses to protect people here.
I mean, what we have that can protect people here is currently being employed for that purpose. I'm sorry to give you such brusque answers, but we have very little, as you can see. We have been forced out by this horrifying creature, and we have seen everything that we have built in this city for hundreds of years turned upside down in an instant. If you can help, we pray that you do so. We don't have much that we can offer you. If the city can be recovered, then there might be more. But with what we have here, it is only what we could carry. I think we're going to actually cut away there and have Davari and Brevelin, as you've been guiding the crowd to kind of move their camp further away and kind of start trying to spread that hope a little bit to others.
Can I have a small,
yeah.
a small addendum? Because I
Sure.
was looking for the feature that I'm still not used to.
Okay.
I want to make that a bolstering performance.
Okay.
So he's going to be calling out, "Are there leaders among you? I need to talk to 4 of you." And when the 4 people come forward, he will give 14 temporary hit points to each of those 4,
Okay.
himself and Davari,
Okay.
just for the bolstering performance.
Great.
And then if he does get 4 leaders, it's basically to ask them anything they might know.
Okay. Well, I was literally
Which is-
about to have someone approach you to talk to you for more information. So, yeah. So I think that you actually have what appears to be another bard approach and just looking to the 2 of you and just saying, that was a masterful performance. I've never seen the like of it, to be able to rekindle hope in people as lost as everyone here felt. That was remarkable. I wish you luck in your mission, your unenviable task, but if I believed anyone could do it, it is you. I think that you may find that your own particular talents have something that could be of use, because it seemed to me, in what little I saw of the dragon's attacks, that it sought out, with the particular vindictiveness, sources of music. And I believe it settled in the opera house because it was drawn there as a place of performance somehow. And I don't know if that simply means that it is attracted to the energy of stories and storytelling and the power of such, or if it's something about music, but I believe that it is drawn to powerful sources of that type of magic. And I think that must mean something. It is like something out of a scary story. And I wonder if that might not make it subject to the rules of stories. I wish I could help more, but this is just an intuition.
Do the people who were sent by the friend of the emperor, they know that this is like a nightmare dragon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Braveheart. This information could prove to be the instrument of its doom. Instrument? Ah, that wasn't even intended. Yes.
I'm gonna do that loop thing afterward. I'm just
They join you and do a little harmony. I hope so. This has been a day of devastation, and songs are sung of those. But if it could become a day of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, then those are the songs that last millennia.
You know what you have to do, right? With your skills and talent, your insight, you have to help these people find that song. Play it constantly. Sing new songs. Tell of bold warriors and delightful dancers that are doing the good deeds.
I will.
That's Brevelin and shit, I forget my name. Davari. Oh, and mention Petron and Hannah, if you will. They're also great. They just happen to be elsewhere.
They pull out a little pad. Petra and Hannah also great.
Petron. Petron.
Petron.
He's very particular about the
Petron.
Petron. All right. I think that as these various bits of business have occurred, we have seen where it can be viewed, the sun getting lower on the horizon, and it is strange to see half of the sky turning the pinks and golds of a setting sun, while the direction of the city looks as though it is in deepest midnight. But you see lots of shouts of excitement as flying above overhead is the enormous draconic outline passing across the sky, casting a shadow, and then landing in majestic draconic presence. Sitzlebek has arrived.
10 points. Good landing.
And do you all like return to rendezvous with him?
Yep.
That's our cue.
I have recovered my strength. However, as we will be entering the domain, new though it is, of another dragon, I will not be at my full power, and yet everything I have I will devote to this victory. Have you a plan?
9/10 of a plan?
I will relate to everyone what we learned from the other bard about the that perhaps it is sort of manipulated by the same kind of elements that twist stories, that it could be relative to its nature as a nightmare.
Fascinating. As a spirit dragon myself, I am, of course, subject to the mortal force and emotions of the people who live in the vicinity of my river. I wonder if this nightmare dragon could be similar.
Now, is there a particular song that was recommended to you, or just music in general?
Well, you know, in the meta, you heard everything I just told them. I mean, yeah.
Yes, but my character was not there.
Sure. I know. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep things moving along because we're going to have a big fight. And I would like to finish
All
it
right.
this session. That's all.
I'll meet you over here.
No,
Let's
I'm
go
not.
and
I'm not
fight the
trying to
dragon.
tell you not to roleplay. I'm just, yeah.
Before we go out, good friends, I have a blessing to bestow upon the three of you. Two of you I've known for a while, one fairly new, but I've pretty good judge of character. I believe, and kind of walks over to each of you and grabs the shoulders. I believe in you, and looks solidly in the face. And he'll cast Aid on the three of them. It only does 3 targets, so it's the 3 of them. That gives you a 10 point boost in your maximum and current hit points.
Great.
And you can have that with temporary hit points, right?
Yeah, because this is a change to your max and then the temporary on
Yeah.
top of that.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, let's go tell a great story. Positive one about how the heroes win.
And Sitzlebek looks to all of you and says, "What I am about to recommend is tactically prudent and is the only reason I would tolerate this. But you must ride me."
Ooh. What an honor.
An extreme honor.
And I
Thank
think
you, Lord
bas-
Sislebek.
basically he's suggesting that like each of you kind of sort of cling to one of his 4 limbs as he's going to airlift everybody.
I think that Devari would just be like, I felt like you were flirting with me a lot over these last few weeks.
The new side novel, Romancing the Dragon.
It's
Heck
like,
yeah.
conversation to be continued. Okay, so as you are watching, flying overhead with Sitzlebek, as soon as you have crossed the threshold of those walls and entered this strange region of darkness, you just feel the air seem to get thicker, and it's a smell that you can't quite place, but it's a bit of rot, a bit of smoke. It is unsettling in a way that gives you chills. And you see this transformed landscape below you as you make your way to the center where the opera house stands. And as you get closer and Sitzlebeck brings you in for a land, you see that the facade and front entrance of the opera house has been turned into a grotesque edifice. And I will now put us on the map. So all of you should be at towards the bottom, but you should, of course, also be able to see the rest of the map. And the doors of the opera house have been likewise transformed, and there's a strange, horrific, purple staring eye emerging from it. But otherwise, it is all closed.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Someone found a delightful map.
I mean, it's not entirely dissimilar to what I'm dealing with in Dragon Age, so.
All right. So I have started you on the map here, you know, further down, but certainly if you all feel that you would be starting, you know, making your way directly up there, we can go ahead and move the tokens. There's no current sign of the dragon.
Then I vote for getting closer to the disgusting pool of blood and thing that looks like a giant cold sore.
Yeah, you
What
should
are
all be
these,
able to
like-
move your tokens.
What are these spongy sort of?
They
square
are
looking
pillars. They're like columns.
things? Okay. All right. I will go. I will follow the lead, but I am going to kind of stick to the columns just in case.
Okay.
I think everyone's just going to walk down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Clank, 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 clank.
Sure.
I have a stealth of disadvantage with -1,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sitzlebeck
stand
says,
behind the dragon.
yeah, he says, it takes time for a dragon to make a new lair, and although this seems to already be well underway, it has likely sealed itself within for that purpose, to accelerate the process of transforming this into its domain and expanding that domain. We will need something to draw it out.
oh. How well do you actually play that lute, Devari?
Played very well, obviously. I was going to say that I will actually start to make music, and I will take my lute out and begin playing,
Okay.
in hopes of getting its attention.
All right. Go ahead and make an initial performance check here. All
Dirty
right.
20.
Nice, nice. I think that you find as you start playing, there is a sort of vibration in the ground and in everything around here that it looks like it's living in some ways, but as you start to play, you feel as though it is causing strange harmonics here and there, and the vibrations and frequency of these strange pulsing structures has changed, and it is clearly responding to the music you're making. And I think Sitzlebeck says, "Good, yes, although I think we will need something a bit more spectacular."
Could I shoot the big purple eye with my crossbow?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
mean, let's see. Right now, you're ways away still,
it's like
130 feet.
yeah. Well, it's the range is 80 and 320. So
Okay. So right now it would be at disadvantage from where you are.
because I'm behind him.
No, because that's what the 320 means. The range, when it has the lower number and the bigger number,
Right.
and
And
up
the bigger
to the
number
lower
is
number.
320.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that's how those ranges work, is that if it's 80, 320, that it means when it's further than 80 feet, it's with disadvantage. If it's further than 320 feet, it would automatically miss. That's how so up to 80 feet, normal. 80 to 320.
See, I thought that was at
disadvantage.
disadvantage because it was too close because it's a ranged weapon.
No, only within 5 feet, it would be disadvantage.
Okay.
That'd be pretty crappy ranged weapon if 80 feet away it was at disadvantage. But yeah, so I mean, but you could also move closer. I'm just saying that, like, from where you are, it would be at disadvantage. It is a big
Yeah,
target.
I'm not going to stand in the moat of blood and shoot it.
I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just saying from where you are, it's with disadvantage. That's all I said.
That's not going to do it.
That looks like a 10. I think that you hit, it hits the eye, but not like dead on. It kind of like glances off the corner a little bit, and the eye sort of like quivers, but that's all.
Well, we're just trying to get its attention, right? Like,
You need something shot.
yeah.
Go
ahead.
All righty. I'll put 2 arrows in it.
Okay. What is your arrow ranges? 150 feet to 600.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that'll work. 23 will hit.
That's the first one. And the second one's a natural 1, which
Okay.
is only a 14.
All right. So the first one hits, and I think the arrow does strike it, and the arrow, when it hits, seems to disintegrate, but the eye does sort of quiver, and the pupil in it starts to like waver and sort of vibrate.
How high up is the eye?
If you were standing right there, it's maybe 10 feet off the ground.
Okay.
But so that's from the the top of that little platform there. So like if you were, I think this this dais up here is probably 10 feet above the level that you're all on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then these steps right before the door go up another 5 feet.
Okay.
Sislevic will say, I think we all need to think bigger. We need something big to draw it out.
Brevlin will touch his shield, and at the center point of the shield, cast light on the shield.
Okay.
Then, holding the heft of his halberd aloft. Let's see. Do I have anything I'm going to use at that level? Probably not. So few spells. It's so weird playing not a full caster. He'll cast magic weapon upon his halberd at level 3.
Okay.
All right.
Does magic weapon change when it's at higher levels?
For every level above a second,
Oh.
it's an additional up to 3.
Nice. Okay.
But technically, both of those come in the same round because that's a bonus action plus the action for the light spell.
Okay.
Actually, level 3 to 5, it's +2. Level 6 plus, it's +3. So
Okay.
that's the best he can do. The minimum of the second level.
Okay.
Aside from knocking, I don't have a lot of fancy things. And he'll start to make his way toward the stairs on one of the sides.
All right.
Because I think there's stairs. They look kind of like stairs. I have no idea
Yep.
if they're still stairs.
They are. They're or near enough.
They look mushy.
You don't think
Which
they
is-
would pass OSHA standard?
Well. Let's see.
I think Sislevek flies up and kind of perches on the railing here.
Oh man, I just want to stare at all the details of this gruesome map. It's crazy.
Right?
I have an idea. I'm gonna let Mark do what he's doing.
Mark's not doing much. He literally has no range. So,
Well, if go ahead.
if you have an idea, go for it. I have
Well,
one, but
if I move up to here, if we want something bright and flashy, I could cast Dawn right there on the eyeball. And that is a 40-foot high cylinder of bright light at 30-foot radius. Like, that's as big as I can go.
Yeah?
Okay.
I was gonna cast lightning on the eyeball. I was gonna call lightning and cast lightning. So it's up to you if you want to do that.
I mean, do you have a preference, guys?
Brelin literally looks like he's going to walk up and poke it. That's his whole plan.
Well, I already shot it, so Jenny, if you want to go ahead and you could try yours first if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna cast call lightning,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do it at level 4.
All right. So you've initiated your call lightning spell. Do a damage roll for it.
Come on, shut window. Oh, these things.
Thanks.
28.
Okay. Is it what is that not the extra? So shouldn't it be 38?
Are we outdoors?
Yes.
That's the total damage. It has a DC save. It has a dexterity save.
Yeah, but it's a
17.
door. It's going to fail a DC save.
Right.
Dexterity save.
Yeah.
So,
And that was 4d10.
Well, okay, what I'm seeing right now is 28 plus additional 10 for the higher level, and you said 28, not 38. So I was asking why it was not 38.
Well, I think the 10 isn't that the outside?
That's the outside.
Yeah. So
But we're outside, so what's the problem?
Nothing, because when I said it, I was on the screen and it only showed me the damage. It didn't show me the
Okay.
10. It was just the 28. That's all.
All right. But what I'm saying is the damage is 28 plus 10 for 38.
Right.
Yes? Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing on the screen. So that's why I'm confused. Okay. So it's 38. Yes?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys need to tell me these things. I'm just trying.
I'm just saying, like, when I rolled it, I wasn't looking on Beyond 20.
Okay.
It was just showing me my damage roll. That's all.
All right. Well, but okay.
That's all.
All right. So 38 then. Yes. And I think as you cast that, the eye definitely starts to burn and smoke, and then it closes and the door opens.
Oh, that got its attention.
Yes.
All right. Before anyone can move, I cast aid at level 3, and so
Mm-hmm.
Can that be stacked?
I'm
I don't
not
think so.
sure if multiple castings of aid can be stacked on each other. I don't know that they. I'm not
don't
sure they
think
don't
so.
say that. I mean, it's not temporary hit points.
yeah,
I feel like there's nothing in the spell that would say that it can't stack with others.
Yeah, I don't see anything that says that.
Yeah.
So sorry,
I was
Mark,
just checking. Yeah.
Starla, and Jenny and
All right.
Sislabek
Okay.
get an extra. Or actually, I'm gonna give the last one to myself, not Sislabek.
All right. Well, that makes sense. That's fine.
Well, the other, the three of you already have it at one level. You could cast it to cover Slitzleblack and Brevelin.
Well, but
so we all
I
have.
think it would stack if you want it to stack. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, Brevelin has to get up here near me and Sislabek.
Okay. Because the door is open now. We're going to roll initiative right now. So figure out what you're doing. So if you've cast the spell, then say who it is for, and then would you?
Yeah,
that's 'cause
Sislabek,
then
me,
we're rolling
and
initiative.
Brevelin. So I'm the only one that's double dipping.
Okay. So how many for Sislevik?
10,
Okay.
an extra 10.
Didn't you? Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then we're rolling initiative. So I got the tracker up there. So do go ahead and put it on there if you can. And did it go? It did. Good. And then. All right. And so, with Sitzlebek and Petrin, it looks like you've tied. So I will let you choose whether you want to go before or after Sitzlebek.
I think I'm going to let Sislabek go first.
Okay. All right. So, as you see the door open, you begin to feel the ground tremble with steps, and then emerging from the door is the Nightmare Dragon. And immediately on his turn, Sitzlebek unleashes his lightning breath right in the Nightmare Dragon's face. Nightmare Dragon makes a dexterity saving throw. He's not especially good at it, but he did roll a natural 20.
Wow.
Okay, so that means he's going to take half of the Sislebek's lightning dragon lightning breath, which is 59. So he's going to take 29 lightning damage right off the bat there. Okay, and that was Sislebek's his action, but then he is taking off and he is flying. Like he is 40 feet off the ground right here. So I'm going to use the little green dot to remind me what elevation. Okay, so Petrin, that makes it your turn.
All right. I am going to cast Hunter's Mark on the Nightmare Dragon.
Sensible. I also want you to all appreciate just not only on the map here, but in the visual, this Nightmare Dragon is much bigger than Sitzlebek.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Hunter's Mark.
All right. 6 points of damage.
Well, but
Oh.
Hunter's Mark doesn't do it by itself. That adds to another attack.
Okay. So Hunter's Mark is bonus action, right? So I can still fire.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 arrows. First one's a 31,
Okay. Yeah.
and the second one is a 24.
Those are both going to hit.
Okay, so I get 13 plus 7 plus 8.
So, can you tell me what each
28.
of those is coming from?
The first 13 and the 7 are from the 2 arrows themselves.
Oh, okay, I
and-
see. Yeah.
And the 8 is from the plus 1d6 that I get from the hunter's mark.
Well, I mean, 8 is obviously not a 1d6.
But 2 arrows.
Okay.
I get a
Okay.
3.
I see.
So I got a 4.
So that
I
is
rolled
it.
a
Is
4.
I gotcha.
That's total damage for 2 arrows.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Both of those arrows strike into its flesh, and it snarls at you.
All right.
And
And I don't want to be in front of it on this side anymore.
Mhm.
I want to go over here.
Okay. All right. It is its turn. It is going to stomp out here, and it is going to use its corrupting breath in a 90-foot cone that's going to get Brevelin, Sitzlebek, and Davari. Did I say that right? I'm suddenly second. I said it right? Yeah? So all 3 of those, so the 2 of you and Sitzlebek need to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's
Wow.
that's a 7.
Okay. So that's going to fail. 22 is going to save. Sitzlebek has a plus 11, but rolled a 2 on the die, so it's also going to fail.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you failed, you're going to take 60 poison damage, and you are poisoned until the end of your next turn. And yeah, just
Do I
double.
take 30 then?
If you saved, then yes, and you are not poisoned.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And you are poisoned, I assume, Brevelin, unless you have something that prevents that.
Not against poison, no.
Okay. So yes, it stomps out and
I would like to use my reaction in Hellish Rebuke.
okay. Are you in range for that?
Let me check.
I think Hellish Rebuke, you have to be a little closer.
60 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it means you save the spell slot for now. Or actually, how far away are you?
I'm checking right now.
Oh, you know what? You're exactly at. Yeah,
55.
there you go.
Yeah.
Then you do it. Go. So it makes a dexterity save, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
17.
It got a 7.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm doing that at level 4, so.
Sure. All right.
That is 25.
Nice. Yeah, 25 fire damage. It reacts in surprise, recoiling as it breathes out its terrible poison breath, corrupting breath. And you watch as the landscape where that breath touches seems to convert even more to this strange biological tissue than it had been. And then it is going to use the rest of its turn to fly up into the air to right here where it is 60 feet above the ground. Okay. And then, yeah, let's see. Oh, hang on. Let's see. There's also one thing here. I need an additional Constitution saving throw from everyone who just took some of that poison damage.
18. That's a lot better.
Sislik saves. Okay, an 18, unfortunately, still fails.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, is that... Actually, it should be 19 because I have the aura. I think that's including...
Well,
it's not in the
I mean,
roll.
Okay.
Let me just double check the aura if it's only other people.
Now, you definitely benefit from your own aura.
Yeah, you and your allies. So that's a 21 then.
Okay, well, then in that case, it saves. What you were looking for is a 19. Did you do your roll, Jenny?
I thought you said it was only if we took poison damage.
You did, because
Oh,
you took
never
half
mind.
of the poison damage, right? Yeah?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I got confused in my
Okay.
brain and thought it was only if you were poisoned.
All right. So Brevelin and Sislabek saved on this effect so far. Looks
Natural
like you
20.
did too. All right, none of you are corrupted. So that is the end of the Nightmare Dragon's turn. So Hannah, you're up.
Okay, well, did you say it was like 60 feet in the air?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, let's see.
One of the classic dragon things, flying.
Yeah. Let's see, 30-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. Let's see. On a location I specify within range. It's within 60 feet. So I'm trying to math. It's not working very well.
If you were up the stairs, like right here, it would be only 50 feet higher than that.
Okay. Well, trying to avoid clumping together.
Fair, sure. I think if you're looking to you can do something within 60 feet, I would say it's within 60 feet of you.
Yeah, because I was gonna try using Dawn on it.
Okay.
Because it's a huge spell.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I'm going to cast Dawn.
Okay.
And that is a Constitution saving throw, 15.
All right. Constitution. It's pretty good at those. It does get a 23 on the con save.
But I think it still takes half damage.
Okay.
Yes. So 21 radiant damage.
Okay, so it'll take
half of that. Yeah.
10. Okay. And that is, what's the size of that cylinder again? A 30-foot radius or
30-foot radius, 40 feet high.
Wow. Okay. And then I guess you're casting it up in the air on it, which is fair. Okay, let's make this. What? I'm trying to draw a circle. There we go. 30-foot radius. So it's 12. 1, 2, 3.
It's like somebody did the scaling wrong with a guiding bolt.
Let's see. Okay, I think that's like that. And so technically it's up in the air in order for that height to get where it is currently. So that means, technically speaking, if it were to drop to the ground in this location, it would be out of it. But in the meantime, this burst of dawn daylight is magically pushing away and dispelling some of the darkness and haze in this area. And even though the dragon does somewhat resist being burned in the immediacy, it's clearly having an effect on this influence that it's been generating on the environment here. And so it snarls, but now it's going to use one of its villain actions. And let's see, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. Yeah. Okay. So, as it sort of snarls and sort of flexes, and the green energy coming from inside it flares, you see 3 crystal columns rise up out of the ground. Near each of you in these locations, and those of you who are in the immediate vicinity of them immediately feel these monoliths just sort of radiating like a hostile, corrupting energy that you feel like let's see, it feels as though it is penetrating you in a way that would make you extra susceptible to some of its attacks.
Are we supposed to see something on the map for this?
Are you not seeing these?
No.
No.
Why not? They're on.
I can see them.
You can see them?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I see
pinging
'em.
a green thing right here.
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
all I saw was the ping.
Yeah, I saw the ping.
Oh, for
Oh, that's
frick's
weird.
Let me
sake!
try
Why?
reloading my map here.
Yeah.
Yeah, try
look for
I mean-
reloading it.
Okay. Yeah, because they are there. I don't know why Jenny would see it and not the rest of you.
I can see it.
Ah, there we
Okay.
go. I reloaded
right,
the map
good.
and they appear.
Okay.
Oh, and then they vanished again.
Yep. Weird. What the heck?
I can think of no reason for that to be the case. I will draw a little green circle where they are.
Sorry.
Oh, that's what I get for trying to do a cool thing and use an image instead of just drawing a green circle. All right. Thank you, Roll20. I love you. Yeah. So in any case, though, you feel, those of you who are in the immediate vicinity of those things feel it. It feels like it is trying to. It is the Nightmare Dragon attempting to worm its way under your psychic defenses and make you more susceptible to its attacks. Okay. Those have all risen up, and now it is Davari's turn.
Okay. So I don't like this pillar
No.
being near me.
I don't blame you.
So I'm going to move. And I'm going to fireball the Nightmare Dragon. And as I do it, I'm going to yell out, because Hana did the Dawn spell, I'm going to
Mhm.
yell out, like, I guess it's time to wake up, and then just fireball
Yeah? Nice.
at level 5.
Okay.
So that's a Dex 17.
All right. Wow, it rolled a 2.
Oh,
But I think
nice.
in this case, though, it is actually going to use one of its withering resistance, which basically it has to use up some of its own internal energy, and so it takes 15 necrotic damage, but it saves on the throw.
So it still takes half damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be 16 then
Okay.
total.
Well, it
because
looks
it's
like it,
half of
it,
32.
it used up one of its 3 resources to basically kind of break
Save
Take
even.
the
you.
same damage.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so it is, you know, it's taking some of this damage. So it's, you know, you've certainly been hurting it, but it's got a ways to go. Okay. What else for your turn?
I think I'm going to cast Bardic Inspiration
Okay.
on. Actually, it's been a while since I barded, so I
Okay.
have to look and make sure
Sure.
and see how far
Um,
away they have to be.
Yeah. By the way, as soon as you moved out of 10-foot radius of the crystal column, you stopped feeling the effect of it.
Oh, good. Actually, I can't cast Bardic Inspiration because I think everybody's too far away from me.
Oh. Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah, everybody is literally just like 10 feet too far
Mhm.
away.
Okay, Brevlin, it is your turn.
All right. Well, I've waited. Let's see. how do I put the words? How do I rhyme greasy slime? Oh, that could work. He will take a moment to center himself, and there's a bit of a glow as he will lay on hands himself,
Okay.
to the tune of 30 points plus 5 to purify poison to get rid of that.
Okay.
And then, the glow continues, and vast, large, beautiful plumage explodes from his back as he takes this heavenly form of wings and takes to flight.
Fantastic.
Let's see. It's not a huge flight distance. That column of dawn it's persistent. It lasts for a while. Okay. Then that's going to be challenging.
Does dawn affect anything within it, or is it only creatures of your choice? Let's see.
I think it's any creature. A creature must also
Each creature in it, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's also like up in the air too. So
Well, I think he was wanting to fly up next to it.
Oh.
The dragon, though. Yeah.
Well, why not do something ridiculous, like casting haste on himself?
Okay.
So the wings beat mightily and then seem to blur as they beat even faster.
All right.
And bang. So it's been a while since I've used haste even. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's also haste is a little different in the new rules too.
Yeah. Okay, so that took his action. Now he'll see if I can find. Let's see if he swoops up underneath it, because the column is mid-air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can he perceive it, like the bottom part of it from there?
I will say yes. In fact, actually, I will go ahead and say that it is, in a way, casting a shadow. And so the dawn is shining down on it, and if you swoop underneath and come up directly opposite, basically, it's kind of shadowing you from the dawn effect.
Oh, there we go.
So you can fly up
There
in
you-
its shadow.
There you are, you enormous shadowy butt. Okay. Then sorry. The haste does an attack action, and he gets. Use the action for that, so this is just a regular attack. All right, I'll figure it out eventually. And yes, pokety, because he's got a range of 10 with the halberd,
Nice.
which is a +2/+2 weapon now.
Yeah.
So that is a 20 to hit.
Hits.
13 plus 2 plus. This is where it gets. I wish they'd get better track of this stuff on the sheets, because honestly, there's so many ads in this version.
Yeah,
of the character.
paladins are tricky that way. I'm playing a paladin in another game right now, and it's tricky, especially when you're jumping to a higher level like you are.
Yeah. So we do additional 4 radiant.
Okay.
And an additional D8 radiant here. Where are we? The radiant strike, which is additional 8 points.
Wow,
So that's
okay.
8 radiant damage. And I can't cast a spell, so that's going to be
All right.
the end of it.
So that was 28 damage then, right?
That would be
13 plus
plus 4 plus 8. So
Okay.
25.
25.
Right? No.
Okay.
17, 25, yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was a significant attack. Doesn't like that. Okay, so then that's the end of your turn. It is now going to have a lair action where it sort of swirls around, and I think it seems like its primary vitriol is still aimed at Sitzlebek, this other dragon, and so he sends a swirling flood of eldritch energy towards Sitzlebek, and Sitzlebek needs to make a Constitution saving throw. He's pretty good at those. He got a natural 20 for a 31, so that's definitely going to save, which means they're going to take half of this damage, which is actually not too very much. Okay. Wow, okay, and it wasn't high. So he's going to take 3 necrotic damage. So that lair action didn't amount to very much in that particular instance. But now it is Sislevek's turn. We'll roll a d6 to see if he gets his lightning breath back. He does not. So he's going to... Yeah, I think he is going to follow your lead, flying up past and beneath you, Brevlin, saying, "Good thinking." And he is just going to make his bite and claw attacks against the Nightmare Dragon. Does a bite for 22 to hit, which hits, doing 13 damage. 2 claw attacks. One hits, the other doesn't, for another 14 damage. So that's 27. Okay. And I think that he is then going to... He's then going to land and like kind of in where he can like inspect one of those columns to try to understand better what it is. Okay, Petrin.
Alrighty. I am going to.
Oh, hang on.
Here.
The Nightmare Dragon should have had an opportunity attack when Sislek moved away. Let me do that. That definitely hits. Whoa, okay. Yeah, so the that hit does 23 piercing damage and 8 poison damage against Sislebek, which is also going to trigger another Constitution saving throw against the corruption, which he does save.
I forgot I have a magic weapon, so it's a 2 extra damage. Not
All right.
very major, but I'm going to try to remember.
Okay. I think that's where I had gotten my original number, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Petrin, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm going to move and make sure I stay at least 10 feet away from... I should be 10 feet away from the green pillar now, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to fire 2 arrows. I got 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And a 24 to hit.
Those are both going to hit.
Okay. 9 points of damage for the first arrow. 8 for the second arrow. And then for the hunter's mark, 7.
Okay.
So 9, 8,
Nice.
7.
Yeah, you guys have been doing some good progress, making some good damage against this thing.
Okay.
But it is now its turn. And I think with you having flown right up to it and making yourself an easy target there, Brevlin, guess what? It is going to bite you. It gets a 31 to hit.
Close.
Yeah. That's going to do 19 piercing damage and 15 poison damage. it's going to be a total of 34, but you also need to make another Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I got to make a bunch of them. So, with a concentration,
So
that is with the
it's-
total damage, or is that with each of
it
them?
is 34 because you take 34 damage from
Okay,
that
so-
one attack. So it
Let's start with that.
yeah, you'd have to beat 17.
Yeah. So we'll start with that. That's a 17 on the dot.
Wow. Okay, so you maintain concentration
That's good.
now against the
Now for
corruption.
the corruption, 24.
Oh, look at that! You saved
Oh,
on
sorry,
that one
was
too.
That was a total of 20 and a total of 27. I got to add the plus 3s.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Oh,
So
my-
you
jeez.
saved on both then. Good.
All right.
Well done.
Yeah. And I think so it does that bite on you. Oh, first of all, also it's going to try to see if it I'm gonna see if it recharges its breath weapon. It does, but it already started using other attacks this round, so it's not going to change that. You're going to get a claw attack as well.
Okay.
That's going to be a 27 to hit
Yeah. Yeah, that hits.
for 20 slashing damage,
Okay.
and it's going to fling you 15 feet horizontally, which doesn't make a huge difference, but you're flung that far from the force of the blow.
Time for another concentration check. Damn it. That one fails.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It was only 20 damage. That's a total of 12. Ha!
Yeah, there you go. All right. And then now that you're out of your melee range, it is going to fly out of the dawn, and it's going to land right here, and it's going to use its last attack against Sitzlevek, which is going to hit for 16 slashing damage. Sitzlevek is taking a lot of damage. He's not quite bloodied, but he is taking no. You know what? He is bloodied now. Okay. And that is the dragon's turn. Nightmare Dragon's turn. It is now. Sitzlevek's going to use a legendary action. To do a wing attack, which just means that the Nightmare Dragon makes a dexterity save, fails, and is going to take 18 bludgeoning, and Sitzlevek can move away without being subject to opportunity attacks. All right. It is now Hannah's turn.
Well, thanks to Sitzlevek moving away, now I can move the dawn circle.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to move that. I can move it up to 60 feet. So.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
Yep. And I want to try to avoid.
Yeah.
Davari? Is that right?
Yeah. Well, one of the benefits you have here is that it is so much bigger than Davari that as long as you keep it, from going too close to the ground, you could still sort of get the top of the dragon.
Yeah, I can't move the circle.
Oh, sorry.
itself,
Yeah,
so.
you're right. So we'll say though that it is at a height where it gets the top of the dragon, but is not so low that it hits Davari. So what's the saving throw for that again? Is it Constitution or what's it?
Scrolled
Dex?
away from it.
Okay.
Thinking I was going to do something else. Okay. Yeah. Constitution. 15.
Okay. It is really good at those. So it got a natural 1, which means that it rolled a 15.
Well, it's going to take half of 30.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a bonus
Yeah.
action. I got to move out
But-
of the range of the thing.
But here's something you also notice though, as you use your magic and you move this powerful dawn spell, is the dispelling effect of the dawn clearing away the darkness in its vicinity, strangely enough, as you move it, it remains cleared from where it had been, almost as though you've sucked up this darkness like it were smoke somehow.
Magical scrub brush.
Yeah. All right. And
so, okay, so that's bonus action.
Mhm.
What's it gonna do? See, now I'm too far away because it moved.
it is. Do you have more on your turn? Sorry.
Yeah, I still have like action available, but I think it's out of range for most of my stuff. So instead, let's see who's the most hurt. Trying to think who got hit.
Sislabek, I think.
I mean, I'm down
Mark
80
and
points,
Jenny
but
got hit too.
Well,
Yeah.
so Sitzlebek has taken a lot of damage, but he also has a ton of hit points to start. So it's
Right.
But also,
so-
the Nightmare Dragon seems to be focused on him.
Well, I think Sitzlebek might be out of range for me. So, instead, I'm going to give a healing word to Mark. Not
Revelin.
remember your character's name.
Revelin.
Evelyn.
And I will cast that. We'll do that at second level. So, 10 hit points back to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Nice. All right. Devari, it is your turn.
I would like to cast Phantasmal Killer.
Okay.
So that is a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw. I got a 19.
Oh man, that was gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
He still takes half damage, so it is
I believe it's psychic damage.
yeah.
You feel as though it just rebounds completely from this dragon. It is immune to
Okay.
psychic damage.
All right, then I'm not even gonna roll.
Yeah.
Because that would just be silly.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's right on top of me too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's towering over you right now.
I love that for me.
Mm.
They didn't change any of the rules about like spell casting, like being able to cast a lower spell if you've already cast one. You have to have like Warcaster or whatever for that, don't you?
Well, it's still only, if you've cast one spell, you can only do a cantrip also.
Okay.
Still no two spells in one turn.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it
Opportunity
for
attack,
me.
or are you staying where you are?
I'm gonna stay where I am
Okay.
because, I mean, I'm not saying he's not gonna hurt me, but
Mhm.
he does seem
Can
pretty
you use
focused
him
on
as cover?
Sitzlebek. Yeah, like, does he know that I'm there? He wasn't facing me. Like, I will hide behind his own leg.
Okay. Well, yeah. We'll see if that works for you. All right. So I think that would make it Brevelin's turn.
Oh, is it really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I need to figure out how far
So-
away is the guy. Okay.
Yeah.
it's quite
We have established that the dawn does not extend to, 5 feet above the ground, so you could go in underneath at that level, to where Devari is if you were along the ground.
Yeah. I think I'll use my extra action to dash. So I am.
Well, your speed is already also doubled.
Oh, because of haste.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
I have not
See-
used that in so long.
Yeah.
So fly up to kind of the side where.
Haste, yeah. Speed is doubled, +2 to your armor class, advantage on dexterity saving throws, and additional action.
Yeah, the +2 to the armor class doesn't matter. It's rolling 20 6 and 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, next to Davari, kind of floating a little bit there, and give it a poke. This time 3
Okay.
times. Oh. Where's the first poke? Come here, you. And again, so I've written them all down, so hopefully I can remember all the friggin' ads this time. First poke is a 22 to hit.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
24
hits.
to hit. All right, so now we're gonna roll this one too. This one. Oh, and I will throw a smite into this one.
Okay.
Do the plain old divine smite. So that one as well. And bloody hell. Okay. So 10 plus 4, 10 plus 2 plus 4 is 16, plus 11 is 27, plus the aura is 31.
Wow.
Yeah, 31 points.
Paladins, eh? Yeah, the Nightmare Dragon is bloodied.
Oof. All right. And now we will proceed to do part of that again. With another poke. That is an 18 to hit.
Okay. An 18 does not hit.
Okay. I don't think there's anything I can do to make that hit. I gotta try that one at some point. And then the third hit is another 18. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
yeah.
There you go.
Who was supposed to have the inspiration?
No, it wasn't able to
oh
do
no,
it. Right?
right. Never mind. I remember now. Okay. All right.
And I don't have the other inspiration. I was
Yeah.
fishing for it, but didn't get it.
Oh. Oh well, you know what? You're right. You should have gotten it. You did some great stuff. You have it.
Well, I will re-roll one of those, even
Gotcha.
though I kind of.
No, go for it. You deserved it.
It's a
I'm bad
20
at
to hit.
remembering to give it to people. You certainly earned it.
So 20 to hit this time.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Amazingly, the same base damage. So it's 6 plus 2 plus the radiant is that. So 12 points.
Okay. All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah, nice. Okay. It is now Sislevic's turn. He's going to see if he gets his breath back. Which does not. He is not able to, you know what? He's not able to get in under the dawn, so he would be subject to it if he were to get close enough to attack the dragon right now, and he doesn't have his breath, so he's going to play a hunch, and he's going to try attacking this crystal column. He's gonna do a bite claw on it.
Is the crystal column that's caught up in the dawn affected at all?
Good question. Let me.
I think it matters if it's a creature, it might be affected. I don't know.
It's an object. It certainly. Yeah, I don't know if does Dawn say it does anything to objects? That's a good question. Let's see.
all about
Each
creatures,
creature in it. It doesn't say anything about objects. Yeah. Let's see. Oddly enough, the bite, he doesn't really make any headway in it. But let's try the claws. Wow, just some bad rolls from Sitzlebek there. So he only manages to hit it once, and he does 15 slashing damage, but it's actually much sturdier than he would have guessed. So it's still pretty resilient, and that feels like a weak-ass turn from a dragon, but tactically that's kind of where it's at. Okay, that makes it Petrin, your turn.
All right. Well, I just witnessed Sislevik attacking the pillar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. but I'm going to do the same to the one next to me.
Okay. You don't want to tag team on the one he was trying to hit?
I
I mean, up to you.
yeah, you know what? I'll do that. And I got 32 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And a 30 to hit.
Those are certainly both going to hit.
And that's 6 plus 13. 19 points of damage.
Okay. It's still standing. It's starting to show some cracks, though. Okay. It is now going to, after your turn, use its second villain action, which is it's batting its wings erratically, and the air around it seems to really start to warp, and you get the feeling that this is maybe something that was causing like the lights to swirl around like that, because space all around you seems to be distorted and disrupted, and I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw.
I'll have to look your name up every time. Davari does get the aura bonus for +3 as well. Charisma.
I failed.
32.
Okay. All right. So, looks like Hana fails and Petrin fails.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. What about Sitzlebeck? Saves. And then Davari fails even with the added bonus. So everyone who failed gets teleported to where the dragon wants, which it's going to put you all in this little corner right there. And then that is its villain action, and now it is its turn. It's going to fly out of that dawn.
So, opportunity attack?
Yep.
18 to hit?
No.
Do
Yeah.
my head.
Yeah, and now it is going to use its corrupting. You know what? Actually, if it goes here, it can. It's higher up in the air. We'll say it's 40 feet above the ground right here, but it's going to get all of you in that cone, using its corrupting breath again.
How long is the cone? That's crazy.
90 feet.
Amazing.
Let's see. Let me double check the.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's the stuff of nightmares, right?
Yeah. So this is another Constitution saving throw from everybody in there. Sitzlebeck saves.
Natural
17.
20.
You're looking to get a 22.
Oh,
I got a 21.
Unfortunately.
Even if I rolled a natural 20, I couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no way.
I did roll a natural 20 and I can't beat it.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Sitzlebeck may be the only one who beat it. Did you roll yours, Brevlin?
yeah. I got a, what did I get? 14 plus 3, so 17.
Okay, yeah, everybody fails. So that is going to be 49 poison damage. And only 24 for Sitzlebeck, but he's also starting to look a little wobbly. And then you're also all poisoned for this turn, and you all need to make one additional Constitution saving throw.
Still set my. I'll do my concentration check and. Or wait, this is Constitution for. Okay, so that one's
Natural
27.
20,
Okay.
23.
Wow, okay.
one more for my. What do I got to get? It was 49 points, so 24.
Okay. All right. So if you beat 19 for this save, then you are not corrupted. But it looks like Hana did not make the save. Did we get yours, Petrin?
I missed what I needed to roll.
Another Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 10.
Okay. You feel as this breath washes over you and you see it further transforming the ground around you. You don't see an obvious change in your physical form right now, but somehow you just know inside you somehow it's working its will on you. It's you feel yourself changing somehow, subject to its corrupting influence, so you are corrupted for the moment.
Okay.
All right. One more impossible Constitution save. 24 target.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Revelin goes down.
Oh, is that you're unconscious?
Nope, that was the fail of the haste.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. I see. But you're stunned or something for a turn, right?
Yeah, incapacitated, I think it is technically.
Okay. All right. So that was its turn, though, using that that breath, and then I think it's actually going to move and settle over here for the moment. Okay. Hana, it is your turn.
All right. Okay, so while we're all here, I've gathered you here today in order to cast. Do that. If I cast this, then dawn goes away. But I think this is probably better. So I am going to cast Aura of Purity.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
An aura radiates from you in a 30-foot emanation for the duration. While in the aura, you and your allies have resistance to poison damage and advantage on saving throws to avoid or end effects that include blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned.
Nice. Okay, great. That'll help Petrin when his turn comes here.
Yep.
Okay.
And I feel like, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna stay.
Okay, great.
Keep yelling my aura. So.
Sure. Okay, I think that.
But dawn goes down if you want to erase the circle.
Oh yeah. There we go. All right. That makes it Brevelin's turn, but I believe you're incapacitated for this round.
Congeal.
I thought it was my turn after Hana.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I misremembered which token you were. Yes, Devari's turn.
I had good luck with it last time, so I'm gonna cast Fireball again, this time at level 5.
Okay.
So what's DC 17?
Yeah.
Dex.
Dex. It got a 16.
Perfect. Oh my god. The dice are stuck in the corner and they're just rattling.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I am going to move around. My good friend Sitzla back here. And I'm gonna go so I'm just not right on top of everybody again still.
So you're in this little blood moat, or?
Yeah, I don't care. It's blood, whatever.
All right.
I'll go right here.
Well, I mean, that's
it-
like,
It's like a pool, right?
yeah, but like
No.
right where you are there is like, that's a wall.
Oh, I thought that was the steps.
No.
Sorry.
No.
I will go down the steps then.
Okay, yeah. So the steps are like over here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll go right there.
Okay. All right. So now it would be Brevlin's turn. But
Congeal.
Congeal?
Oh yeah,
Does
he's a
she-
wreck right now.
Okay,
That's all
well,
he can do
I'm-
is sit there and turn
Okay.
into a puddle.
All right. Well, that's I was confused by the word choice. Okay.
Does
So
she get a chance to end the effects of like poisoned or anything because of my aura?
well, it's on their turn, right? Because it's or wait, well, you can choose to end the effect, or you just give advantage to people.
It gives advantage to the saving throws to
Yeah.
end
So
those
that would be on
effects.
their
Okay.
turns, though. Yeah.
Well, but
So I should've-
Jenny just had her
Yeah.
turn.
Well, but were you? Oh, yeah. So if you were poisoned, then yes, absolutely. I for some reason I was misremembering and thinking that only Petron was poisoned. I don't know why.
Did you say we have to make a save for that, or did
Oh,
you
okay.
say it was for
Petron
one
was the only
turn?
one that was corrupted. Everyone was, I think, poisoned except Sitzlebeck. So, yes,
I'm pretty
that.
sure I've failed that one too.
Okay. So, if you were poisoned, that means you need to make another Constitution save at the end of. You know what? That poisoned from the breath is only until the end of your next turn, so
Okay.
that is moot. But it'll still apply to the corruption that Petron has got.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, we are at the lair action, and you all look at the nightmare dragon hovering by one of these crystal columns, and it seems to be drawing energy from it. All right. It seems to have healed itself some. But now it is Sislevek's turn. Let's see. The Dawn is not in the way anymore. He does not get his dragon breath back, but he is going to fly over there and do his worst. All right. Hopefully, when I say do his worst, I don't mean that in terms of dice rolls. All right, look, that's a crit. Okay, that bite is going to do 30 damage. And then 2 claw attacks. 25 to hit and 17 to hit, which will miss. So, but that's another 17 damage as well. That it is definitely looking pretty hurt at this point, but it's also, still able to dish out a lot of damage as well. But that is Sitzlevek's turn. Petron, it is now your turn. And at the start of your turn from this corruption that you're feeling,
Yeah.
you're going to take 12 psychic damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can take your turn as normal, but you are still corrupted until the end of your turn at least.
Okay. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself at 3rd level. 37 points back.
Nice.
Yeah, make sure anybody within 30 feet of me is rolling with advantage for like saves against that stuff.
Which you're going to do at the end of your turn here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is the end of my turn.
Okay, so go ahead and roll another Constitution save with advantage. I'm just trying to beat 19 for this.
Okay. I did not beat a 19.
No. So you are still corrupted.
Okay.
Okay. Are you staying right there?
For the... I can move here. Okay.
Okay. That is, that makes it now, the Nightmare Dragon's turn. And let's see, does it get its breath weapon back? It does. Yeah. Not great news for you guys. I think that without necessarily being too worried about getting all of you, it is going to use its breath, and it's going to hit Petrin and Brevelin and Sislebek. So once
It's
again,
a jerk.
yeah, well, it's a nightmare dragon.
Guys, they're going to be responsible for the loss of Sitzlevik in the world. We
Oh.
spent so much time bringing back life.
So we need a Constitution saving throw from each of those three. I will handle Sislebek's.
All you will have advantage with that. Actually,
you.
Jenny, so will you. You can
This
take-
is to avoid taking poison damage, you mean? Is that?
Yeah.
Yep, you will.
I got a 21.
Nice. Sitzlebek certainly saved as well. So you're trying to beat a 22 though. This for the breath.
So
Yeah.
there's
That-
no point in having advantage.
Well,
when I
yeah,
can't actually hit it.
Just have to be
and
closer
even
to the
if you get a
paladin.
natural 20,
I
No,
did.
I mean
I rolled a natural
you need a
20 again.
22. A natural 20 is only for checks. It's an automatic save only for checks. So okay, the that makes it. It is. If you saved, it is 33 poison damage. If you failed, it is 66. And you would be poisoned again for this turn. And we need another Constitution save for the corruption for everyone except Petrin, who's got it already.
Can you be corrupted when you're dead?
Are you unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, yes, because you're not dead. You're just unconscious. So do go ahead and make the save.
22 exactly.
Oops.
I don't know. I don't think his aura exists when he's asleep.
I think if you're unconscious, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sitzlebek actually would have failed that, but he's going to use one of his legendary resistances to beat it. Oh, Davari, you didn't have to take that one, not that damage. You were out of range of the breath of that time.
Oh, how much was that damage?
If you did not make the save, it was 66.
Okay, so 33.
All right. And then the Nightmare Dragon is going to fly away, which is going to subject him to an opportunity attack from Sislebek. Who bites and hits him for 18 damage. Landing up here. All right. And that is his turn. Hana, your turn.
All right. What little tiny scratch do I want to do?
I mean, it's, it can, it's very tough. And so all things considered, it has a fair amount of hit points left, but it is very, very, it's pretty hurt compared to where it started.
Yeah. I'm gonna do guiding bolt at second level,
Okay.
but I am going to target this pillar.
Okay. Nice.
It was a 9 to hit, but it's
Well,
a stationary object.
Yeah. Well,
so-
but it does have an AC because you have to basically get it like a solid enough hit to, it does have an AC. So unfortunately, I think it glances off, like it strikes it, but not in a spot that's weak enough to do damage. Unfortunately. Okay. So anything else for your turn?
Yes, but
I mean, Brevlin's down there unconscious,
yeah,
but you also did just cast a spell, so.
yeah, exactly.
But you
So,
could move down there, or you tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that is touch, right? 15 feet. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, he's gonna get all of us with his next breath attack.
Well, if he gets it back, but he's had pretty good luck with that so far.
Could I? So, can I like go to the edge of the stairs and like hop over the railing and use it? The stairs as cover? At all?
Yes, I will allow that you can. Although breath weapons generally do go around corners, but it'll take you out of line of sight at least.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hop down there.
All right. Divari, it is your turn.
I'm going to I'm gonna fireball him again.
Okay.
This time at level 6.
All right.
So yeah, DC 17 Dex.
Dex is not his strong suit. That's a 15.
46 fire.
Nice.
And then I am going to change the tool and move down here.
Okay.
And I'm going to hide behind this pillar. Not that it matters,
All right.
but I'm going to anyway.
So
And that's my turn.
that fireball, it is not destroyed, but it is extremely wounded. It is sensing it is on the verge of its destruction, and it is going to use its third villain
It's right
action.
next to one of the pillars too, right?
Yes.
So the pillar also took 46.
Yeah,
points of
I was
damage.
going to ask, did the
Oh,
pillars
yeah,
take damage?
yes.
Because it was like a
Well,
20
hang on.
foot
Let me double
radius.
check and make sure it's not like immune to fire damage or something. I don't believe it is. It is only immune to poison and psychic damage, so it would have taken that 46 damage. Yeah. Which is not enough to completely destroy it because those things are pretty tough. It is a 10-foot crystal column, but it is it is very damaged now.
I was going to say, too, on my last turn, he was right next to the one that was over... where's the pinger?
Well, the pinger, you just...
Yeah, like, he's just right here.
I don't...
Sorry. Over on this one. Like, he was right
Okay.
next to it when I hit it, so that would have taken the 33 damage from
Okay,
that, too.
sure.
I was just making it.
No, sure, yeah.
But yeah, that's my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so all of this is we'll see how this this next thing happens because this is a big deal. This is its third and final villain action, Elder Scream, as it senses itself being on the verge of its own destruction. It pulls out the fear and despair that it had absorbed from all of the different people that it has corrupted in its presence here, and everyone within 120 feet of it, which I think is everybody, needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Does being unconscious literally unconscious? There's no consciousness that he's out
You
for
don't
lunch.
automatically fail wisdom saving throws from being incapacitated, I don't think. I think you make the save.
Do I?
Well, he's unconscious. It's
Well, okay, but yeah.
Does the aura protect me and give me advantage?
Not on a wisdom save.
Okay.
let's find out for unconscious, because this is a potentially big deal here. Unconscious condition. You are incapacitated and prone conditions. You drop whatever you're holding. Oh, for Pete's sake. When you do a search thing and then you click the link to find it in the glossary, it links you to the top of the glossary and not to the actual item. Okay. You're incapacitated and prone. Attack rolls have advantage. Against you have advantage. Unaware. Incapacitated. You can't maintain concentration. No, it doesn't describe any effect on wisdom saving throws. I think you roll the save as normal.
Okay. I've been calculating this wrong. He actually has this +3 already in, so this is going to be a -3 this roll.
Okay.
So 17.
17, unfortunately, is not a save. So it looks like Davari got to 17. Okay, it looks like everyone fails that one. Let me roll it for Sitzlebek. Sitzlebek would fail, but is going to use his last legendary resistance to save it. If you failed, which it seems like everyone did, you're going to take 75 psychic damage.
I'm down.
And I think, Mark, unless that takes... What is your maximum hit points?
Oh, like 114.
Okay, so this does not instant kill you, but it certainly makes you fail one death saving throw.
Yep.
All relative. Brett, Petrin is down. Hannah and Davari, are you unconscious
There's
too?
the
You're just
TBK.
nodding. Everyone needs the...
I'm down.
I am down.
I'm gone.
Okay, all four of you are down. Okay.
Yeah.
Sitzlebek is going to take half of 75, which is 37. He is very wounded as well, but not down. Okay. That makes it... That was at the end. We did that at the end of...
Where's Shroom the Kobold when you need him?
Yeah, we did that at the end of Davari's turn. Is that right? Okay. So, Brevlin, on your turn, make a death saving throw.
All right. Natural 20.
Okay, that puts you back up at 1.
But it's at the end of his turn, so...
Okay, well, still, though. Okay, so I think you sort of blink awake. Gosh, this is that was a big deal, but now we're getting into it's really close because that's Sitzlebek's really rough here too. So it's a lair action now, and it wasn't. He can't do the crystal one again. Okay, he is going to use his Eldritch energy separation thing, which didn't do very much last time, but that's what he's got right now. Sitzlebek makes a Constitution saving throw. Actually does fail it. Is going to take 2d10 necrotic damage. And is at 8 hit points. But that is the end of the lair action, and it is now Sitzlebek's turn. And he is flying straight at the Nightmare Dragon. First of all, actually, hang on. Roll d6. Does not get his lightning breath back. But he is going to do his bite. Gets 28 to hit for 28 or for 20 piercing damage. And claw attack That's a crit and another hit. This the nightmare dragon is absolutely like reeling. Like it seems as though it has taken enough damage that it should be fatal, but it is somehow clinging to its existence. It is absolutely ready to topple, and I'm going to have us for a moment imagine that Petrin, Davari, Hana, all unconscious. Brevlin, you are watching these two dragons battle each other out, both of them absolutely at the very limits of their remaining energy. The nightmare dragon reeling, not destroyed quite, but unable to take any actions on its turn. And you now at 1 hit point, what would you like to do?
I mean, there's nothing you can do from here. So it would be, let's see. And I can't reach more than one. So move forward. Is that Davari or?
That's Davari next to you, yeah.
Okay.
You feel like anything would tilt this the nightmare dragon over the edge.
I don't have any ranged spells. Ranged actions.
I am open to rule of cool here. I'm trying to set something up for you.
Yeah, I mean,
if
body.
Brevlin would not have anything, then that's fine. Do what
Like,
what Brevlin
it's-
would do.
well, let me see where I was just to see if I can.
But I guess what I just want to say is, if you want to pitch something to me, I am open to rule of cool right now.
Well, let me see what the range is here.
Remembering the intel that you all got.
Oh yeah.
Somehow this creature, its body should be destroyed by that last round of attacks from Sitzlebeck, and yet it is clinging to its existence somehow.
I think that probably semi-subconsciously, Brevlin would start to hum a battle tune.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, it's not a battle tune; it's a hero tune. As he's kind of going to be administrating, so he's going to walk over, reach down, grab a hold of Davari, and use healing hands first of all on them. So that's 11 hit points, not a huge amount. And then start kind of walk flying. I don't think I can get to, but there to reach towards the friends. And then just start bellowing out this song of "I will not." Oh man, I wish I could remember any lyrics from any Queen song right now. "We will survive." There we go. It's the Tashmian equivalent of "We will survive," which isn't Queen, but it works. Kind of in defiance.
I should have changed that stupid lock. I would have made you leave your key.
Oh, you know what? And continuing with the defiance, because that was a magic action. Why not? He'll cast Compelled Duel against the creature as a sort of challenge to the world, challenge to the creature, challenge to nightmares. It is a wisdom saving throw. So
Okay.
probably gonna succeed.
It is taking everything it has to avoid its own destruction right now. It is going to roll the wisdom saving throw, and it with a +10 modifier, it just rolled a 12.
That is a fail.
Okay, I think that what's going to happen here is it is unable to look at anyone but you, as it is currently using everything in its power just to avoid dissipating itself, and now you have its full attention. What do you do?
I mean, that's the end of his turn. That's literally
No,
the only thing he can do.
we're in
Oh.
we're in cutscene mode right now. Sitzlebeck is heaving. He's like at 8 hit points. He is he sees what you're doing, and he intuitively recognizes that something important is happening here.
Okay. I think kind of continuing to have that focus. The lyric swells, and I'm just going to make up a lyric about all fallen heroes must rise to defeat the darkness and the nightmares and the lies. He'll move forward, cast Cure Wounds on. I think that's
Petrin right there.
That's Petrin. So Petrin gets 21 hit points back, and then step over to his other friend, and I think it's a bonus action to pump 25 points into the last of the friends.
And I think Sitzlebeck sees this and says, "Yes, do it together."
Everybody.
I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key.
As it turns into karaoke of words I don't know.
Yeah. So all four of you now have been healed back to consciousness. The nightmare dragon, it has not been fully destroyed or banished, but it seems to, at least for the moment, be unable to take any other action.
I'm going to hit it with spell magic at 3rd level to see if I can disrupt whatever is holding it together.
All right. So what is everybody doing? I'm imagining that everyone's acting at once here. So you've got your dispel, and then?
Yep.
I guess I do have one spell at range. So I'll cast Guiding Bolt at 2nd level.
Okay.
I am going to cast Charm Monster.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm going to cast Flame Strike.
Okay.
So 28 to hit on the Guiding Bolt, so that's good.
I think that as the four of you each prepare your spells, and you feel the vibrations in the air seeming to resonate with Brevelin's song, and it feels as though your magic is more than just your magic. Somehow the 4 spells that you're each casting are combining and becoming a group fully committed repudiation of this creature and what it represents. And with your action together, Sitzlebeck sees this, joins with his finely refreshed lightning breath, and together all of you eradicate the nightmare dragon.
Hooray!
And as it dissipates and disintegrates, melting into nothingness, you watch as all around you the strange corruption of this place begins to fade. And you realize now that it's changing. It seemed so clear that everything had been fundamentally transformed, ruined, corrupted into this strange alternate form. But with the dragon gone, you realize that was only a bad dream. And after a moment, you stand in front of the now restored Opera House.
Yay!
Never doubted it for a moment.
And the Nightmare Dragon Task Force has been successful.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
We all level up.
Sure. Yeah. No, for sure. Like if you're going to continue playing these guys, absolutely you would. Well done. And I think that's where we will leave it for tonight. Thank you,
Wow.
everyone. And we hope to return for more adventure on so many levels perhaps we will return to the Pocket Protectors and see what they're up to. They've been invited to Mount Celestia, and we'll have to find out because there's more nightmare threats out there in Sakamian. And
So many
I've
nightmares.
added all of this stuff on the end of the normal sign-off.
How do we leave now? We can't leave.
Can't.
Stop
We're gonna say goodbye
talking.
on so many levels.
That's it. Good job. We did it.
So many levels of dragons.